There are tons of Breaking Bad video essays already on YouTube, covering a spectrum of topics ranging from the use of color to key pieces of dialogue. But to me, the most impressive part of Vince Gilligan's masterpiece is its symbolism. It's one thing to tell a story using action and dialogue, and quite another to let the audience infer from visual cues. The main difference between a symbol and a metaphor is that a symbol represents a sole idea or concept, while a metaphor is the comparison of two opposing ideas. In Breaking Bad, there are generally far more symbols used than metaphors, especially considering how the show is a visual project. Although Breaking Bad is an intense, edge-of-your-seat story about a good man slowly becoming evil, the symbols used are boring and mundane. You would think that the writers and producers would place more emphasis on guns, bullets, and drugs as symbols, but instead they examine common objects. Walter's swimming pool, the fly, the teddy bear, the glass eye, Hector's bell, and mirrors are all examples of the objects the show presents. Breaking Bad is written in the realist mode, a type of literary category that takes place in our real contemporary world rather than a fantastical one. The use of mundane symbols fits this world. From the very first episode, Walter White is depicted as a tired, disappointed, underappreciated man living a boring life. He's a high school chemistry teacher despite his harrowing intellect. He goes unnoticed by his family and is often the butt of a joke from his brother-in-law Hank. The symbols that surround Walter and the other Breaking Bad characters have to be common and boring because Walter is living a common and boring life. Let's break down the most popular symbols in the show. Season 3, Episode 10, titled Fly, shows us just that, a fly that has found its way into Walter and Jesse's lab. The two spend the whole episode trying to kill it, and only when Walter confesses that he's made terrible mistakes does the fly actually get killed. The most popular interpretation of the insect, one that I agree with, is that it represents the evil that has consumed Walter's life. Walter and Skyler's swimming pool is another symbol for evil and corruption. Throughout the show, the pool is the site of terrible occurrences, or opportunities for Walter to reflect on his own demons. The reflective nature of the water is reminiscent of the mirror symbol, which symbolizes clarity, or lack thereof if the mirror is shattered. In Season 5, Skyler feels trapped by Walter, both as his wife and his partner in crime. While having Hank and Marie over for dinner, she walks into the swimming pool. The glowing blue water entices her, and she is literally being pulled down into the watery depths of her own grief. While they were once a symbol of status and wealth, swimming pools are now mundane and commonplace, a familiar aspect of suburban America. The stuffed bear that falls from the plane collision in Season 2 loses an eye when it falls into Walter's pool. Notice another terrible incident occurring at this location. The bear's eye becomes one of the most recurring symbols in the show, generally thought of as the eye of God, watching and judging Walter's every move. Chemistry is the study of change, is a line spoken by Walter White in the first episode, and rings true throughout the series, basically having become the unofficial mantra of Breaking Bad. Of course, on a symbolic level, the change Walter is foreshadowing is that of himself and others, not the study of chemistry. Over the course of 5 seasons, Walter goes from being an honest, humble man to a cruel, ruthless drug lord. Jesse goes from an immature drug dealer to an empathetic, remorseful man. Breaking Bad is the study of change, and depicts that change in a very calculated, specific way. There is no one moment when Walter becomes Heisenberg or Jesse becomes empathetic. Their character development is the result of a series of micro-decisions that change their attitudes. Many episodes open with shots of old shoes, lampposts, houses, cars, streets, sand, anything that would otherwise blend into the background of a shot. Better Call Saul, the Breaking Bad spin-off series, takes this to a new level with much of the cinematography focusing on mundane objects. Again, the world Vince Gilligan created is a contemporary one, so it makes sense that its symbols are also contemporary. Everything has significance if you attach meaning to it, and I'm sure the producers of the show would agree. Take care of yourselves and each other.